One day Ethereum will flip Bitcoin. That's what the Ethereum bulls are saying. And that's partially backed by the ultrasound money idea, as in Ethereum has a shrinking supply. It gets burned by 0.3% per year right now. Whereas Bitcoin has an expanding supply. It gets mined by 1.72% every year. The new supply gets cut in half every 4 years, but still, Bitcoin's supply is expanding, Ethereum's supply is shrinking, and thus, with shrinking supply and constant demand, over time, Ethereum should become more and more important of a part of all of crypto and thus overtake Bitcoin even. Now that's the bull case. There's obviously also a bear case. For example, the increased competition to Ethereum, more and more EVM compatible smart contract platforms that take away market share from ETH, or the reduced usage of Ethereum in DeFi. The total value locked of Ethereum on the platform is going down, both in terms of US dollars, but also measured in ETH tokens. I'm personally rather an Ethereum bear. I think it can't compete on the DeFi front because of the high transaction fees relative to the competition. And I also think Ethereum has a hard time competing as a store of value because it is more centralized than Bitcoin. But I always like to look at the data, and in some regards Ethereum has already flipped Bitcoin. Maybe not in market cap, but in other interesting metrics. So let's have a look. There's a dedicated website just on that. blockchaincenter.net/en/flippening. The flippening Ethereum versus Bitcoin. And so far, Bitcoin is roughly 3 times larger than Ethereum in terms of market cap. 38.1% of Bitcoin's market cap is Ethereum's market cap. And this is not necessarily increasing with time, right? This is rather trending down now. But let's have a look at active addresses. So addresses that have made a transaction in the last week. Also over time, not really taking away market share from Bitcoin, currently 43%. But in the transaction count, for example, it already has flipped Bitcoin. Ethereum has 2.4 times the number of transactions compared to Bitcoin. It's not increasing, but it is higher. And this very likely comes from the DeFi applications, right? Bitcoin is mainly used just to transfer value. There are now other use cases as well, right? There are inscriptions that try to replicate NFTs on Bitcoin, but the vast majority of Bitcoin usage is still simply just sending BTC from one wallet to the next and storing that BTC. But the DeFi applications, of course, create more transactions on Ethereum. It's a quite significant difference to Bitcoin, right? 2.4x roughly. What about the transaction volume? We don't see the flippening just yet. 67%. We did temporarily see more transaction value being transferred on ETH than on Bitcoin. Again, DeFi activity is to blame. Bitcoin is simply just mainly stored and not moved that much. We've also got trading volume, not that different of a chart. What about the fees that get generated on both chains? 13 times more fees are generated on Ethereum compared to Bitcoin, even though there's way less market cap, right? That's also the reason why there was so much GPU mining in Ethereum back in the days. Now it's all just staking, right? Ethereum moved from proof of work to proof of stake. But before that happened, a lot of the GPU-based mining happened for Ethereum, not necessarily for Bitcoin. You need to have dedicated different miners, by the way, for Bitcoin than for BTC. The landscape is changing, of course, again, because Bitcoin is the main proof of work network now, but still very interesting in terms of just revenue for miners. Ethereum was more interesting, and even now after staking, way more fees are generated on Ethereum. What about raw interest, Google searches? This is a pretty scary number, right? Only 14% of search volume over here, so Bitcoin has roughly 7 times the search volume. The number of transactions is going down. The market cap is relatively high compared to the search interest. And search interest is probably very much related to new entrants entering. So if you're wondering what crypto should I buy, you're probably more likely to Google it. The people that already hold the asset, they are not as likely to search it that often. So it's a good proxy of growth. It's not a good proxy for current holders. And when the search volume for Ethereum is that small compared to Bitcoin, then maybe it doesn't grow in adoption as quickly going forward. As said, I'm rather an Ethereum bear. And even when looking at those flippening charts, I don't really see any massive reason to be convinced otherwise. My main crypto stack is in Bitcoin. I do use DeFi, but I mainly do this on other platforms. I don't do this on the Ethereum chain, but I'm more than open to discussion. So let's chat together. I hang around in Telegram regularly. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app or click the link down below. See you over there. Bye bye.